This morning, before 8:30 a.m., before I even logged into my W-2 job, I had already been to 4 different properties. A tenant moving in 2 weeks, a condo Airbnb check-in, 2 more properties to prep for upcoming tenants. I own 10 rentals, I love rentals, but standing in that parking lot this morning, I had one very clear thought. This is not passive income. And that's exactly why I've been quietly shifting my strategy towards something most people completely overlook: private money lending. I currently have 4 private lending deals running right now. None of them required me to drive anywhere this morning. None of them will require me to coordinate a cleaning crew, fix a water heater, or deal with a late rent payment this week. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how private money lending works, how I personally use it alongside my rental portfolio, and the risks you need to understand before you put a single dollar into a deal. Stay with me, because I'm also going to share the framework I use to evaluate whether a lending deal is actually worth doing. If you're new here, hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a pharmacist with a full-time W-2 job and a real estate portfolio that includes buy and holds, short-term rentals, co-living, and wholesaling, creative finance, and private lending. I'm not here to sell you on a course or tell you real estate is easy. I'm documenting what's actually working for me and what I've changed my mind about as someone building wealth while keeping a demanding career. If that sounds useful, consider subscribing. I put out honest content every week on exactly this stuff. So let's talk about something the real estate influencer world doesn't discuss enough. Scaling rentals scales operational complexity. People hear passive income from real estate and they picture checks just showing up automatically, little ACH transfers in your bank. And yes, rentals can absolutely build serious wealth: appreciation, loan pay down, cash flow, depreciation, leverage. The fundamentals are real. But what they don't show you is what 20 properties actually looks like on a Tuesday morning. Tenant turnover, maintenance calls, vendor coordination, insurance claims, HOA issues, inspections, turnovers, furnishings. Even with a great property manager, you are still running a business and you will still be involved. And if you already have a demanding W-2 career, especially if you travel, you have a family, or you value your time, or you just enjoy your job, adding a high operational complexity portfolio can stop feeling like financial freedom and start feeling like a second job, or third or fourth. I don't say this to scare you away from rentals. I say it because I think people should be honest about what they actually want their life to look like before they start the investing journey, and how they want this to look at scale. So what is private money lending and how does it actually work? Private money lending, also called private lending, is when you loan money to a real estate investor and earn interest on that loan, typically secured against real estate as collateral. Instead of being the person operating the deal, you become the bank. Here's a simple example. A real estate investor finds a property they want to fix and flip. They need capital to close, fund the renovation, or bridge their permanent financing. You provide those funds in exchange for interest payments, points, or both. And ideally, your loan is secured by a first lien position on the property itself. You're still participating in real estate. You're still earning returns backed by real property. You're just doing it from a completely different seat at the table. So here's why I think private lending is one of the most overlooked passive income strategies for W-2 income professionals specifically. Most high income earners don't have a money problem. They have a time problem, an energy problem, a bandwidth problem. A pharmacist, an engineer, a nurse, a corporate professional, many of us are already giving 40, 50, 60 hours a week to a job. Building a second active business on top of that has real limits. Private lending done right fits into a busy professional's life in a way that actively managing more properties simply doesn't. The way I think about my investing strategy now is I'm not trying to maximize chaos-adjusted returns. I'm trying to maximize lifestyle-adjusted returns. Strong returns without investments that consume my life. So let me be specific about what I actually like about private lending, because I want to be honest and not oversell it. 1, significantly more passive. Probably my favorite part. My 4 current lending deals have not required a single maintenance call, tenant conversation, cleaning coordination, or 7 a.m. property visit. That's pretty real to me. 2, more predictable cash flow. Most lending deals have a predetermined payment structure. You know what you're getting and when. 3, real estate exposure without direct operations. Real estate exposure without direct operations. You're still backed by property. You're still in the asset class. You're just not the one managing it. 4, it travels with me. I travel constantly for work and personally. Private lending doesn't care where I am. Okay, and this is the part I actually want you to pay attention to. Private money lending is not a passive income slot machine. There are real risks, and people who treat it like free money get burned. Don't let that be you. You need to understand, and I mean actually understand, not just nod along to underwriting. What is the property actually worth? What is the loan to value? Are you lending above what the property could sell for right now? Don't do that. Lien position. Are you in first position? If the borrower defaults and the property sells, who gets paid first? First position. Borrower quality. Who is this person? Do they have a track record? Have they successfully completed similar projects? Deal structure. What are the terms? What happens if they don't pay? What does your exit look like? Title and insurance. Is the title clean? Is the property insured? Is your interest protected as the lender? I personally care much more about the downside protection than chasing the highest possible returns. I'd rather earn slightly lower interest on a deal with rock solid collateral and an experienced operator than chase a couple of extra points on something that keeps me up at night. Preserving capital is the job. Returns come after that. So let's compare rentals versus private lending. Neither strategy is automatically better. They're completely different tools. Rentals typically offer more upside. Appreciation, tax advantages, leverage, long-term equity build. They're powerful wealth building vehicles over time. Private lending is simpler, more passive, more predictable, and easier to manage alongside a demanding career. But your upside is capped. You generally don't participate in appreciation as the lender. And honestly, I'm fine with that. If the borrower makes great money on the flip, that means there was plenty of margin to protect my loan. That's a good thing. So here's where I landed after several years of doing this. At first, my goal was to maximize income. My goal was to maximize my net worth, to buy more, to scale more doors, more property, more everything, more. And that's not wrong, especially early on when you're building equity and learning. But eventually the question evolves to, how do I build wealth in a way that lets me enjoy my life? For me, right now, private lending is a meaningful part of the answer to that question. Not a replacement for everything else, but a very nice complement to it. So no, I'm not selling all my rentals, although I'm considering selling a couple. I still believe in buy and hold real estate, but I also don't need 100 doors to feel successful. And I think that's worth saying out loud, because the internet rarely does. For me, success looks like sustainable cash flow, flexibility, and a life I actually enjoy. Not a portfolio that requires me to be in a parking lot at 7 a.m. every morning, or even a couple mornings a week. So drop a comment below. Are you more interested in building a rental portfolio, or does private lending sound like a better fit for where you are right now? I'll read every single comment, and I'll try to do my best to respond. And if you want me to go deeper on this topic, here's what I can cover in future videos. Exactly how to underwrite a private lending deal from scratch, the red flags I look for before I say yes to a borrower, how to protect yourself as a lender, lien position, title, insurance, those sorts of things, how a W-2 professional can get started with private lending without already having a massive network. If any of that sounds useful, definitely hit subscribe. That's exactly the content I'm building out, and I will see you in the next one.